Minecraft just released a big update for Bedrock Edition. 1.21.60 is out now with a ton of changes. They kinda broke Redstone. The Creaking and Pale Garden has some updates. Rainbow Sheeps have been improved. And finally, after so many years and updates, canyons are back on Bedrock Edition. Now, you're probably worried about Redstone, and for good reason. Mojang has kinda messed up pending ticks in this most recent update. And pending ticks are basically just a way that Minecraft handles information, essentially. Don't worry about it too much, but for this, all you need to know is that it does affect gold farms. They're going to be running slower. Other redstone, such as tree farms, might be having other weird issues. And in general, there's just going to be weird inconsistencies and strange things like this, where water just does not interact with soul sand or magma blocks. So there's some cool potential here, but mostly it's just going to be a pain and a hassle for anyone who does a bunch of redstone. Probably the best way to demonstrate this to you is just to show you a gold farm in the two different versions. So on the left, we have the old update, 120.150, where everything's working normally. And as you see, we're getting around about 8,000 pigmen per hour. And on the right, we have the new update that just released, 120.160, where this bug is present. And as you can see, the farm is running significantly slower, about 5,000 pigmen per hour. So chances are we're going to have to deal with this bug for at least a month or so until the next update, unless Mojang happens to push out a hotfix. But they usually don't do hotfixes for this kind of thing, usually just like crashes and other serious issues. So you might be wondering, what even are canyons? Well, they've basically always been referred to as ravines by the community, but as you can see, there are these big old splits in the ground that go way on down. This is kind of a mild one right here, but these are one of the best features in the game for exploring caves and stuff. This also means the return of ocean ravines, which are fantastic. These used to be a great way to get really far down in the ocean. I haven't been able to find any with the magma blocks and the obsidian at the bottom like ye olden days, but those are really fun. Hopefully those have returned. We have not had these on Bedrock Edition really since like 1.18, the Caves and Cliffs update, where they changed the entire overworld. They just kind of like sneakily removed canyons slash ravines, and now they're back. So this is what this area looks like in the new update. And if we go back to the old update, this is the same area. As you can see, there is no canyon right here. Something weird about this update is we thought that they would add the ability to pause the game in single player, but they kind of removed that actually. So as you can see, we're in the new update. If we hit the pause menu, it just doesn't pause the game. So there must have been some sort of big issue that they could not fix in this update. Hopefully we'll see pausing being brought back to the game in like the 121.70 update. So Bedrock Edition just got this incredible new feature that literally everyone on Twitter thought was already in the game until they were proven wrong by me, because I know what I'm talking about. So if you have yourself a red sheep and a blue sheep, and you breed these guys up, that is actually going to mix the colors, and you'll get, watch this, a purple baby sheep. This was not on Bedrock Edition until literally right now. Previously, it would be either red or blue, 50-50 chance, but now it actually blends the colors. It's amazing, and it's incredible, and we've waited like 10 years for this to come to Bedrock Edition. Now, this also applies to the collars of dogs and cats and, you know, things like that. We're living in the year 2025. Got futuristic Minecraft features out here. Now, Minecraft has also changed the UI and the menus a little bit for your achievements and things like that. Previously, we had the little potion bottle down here in the lower left, but now it's just your profile button. So if you click on that, this actually takes you to your friends, your screenshots, and then you have your stats over here as well, which is kind of interesting. Okay, achievements are supposed to be right here as well, but obviously I'm playing in the beta. So in the full release, this is where they'll show up. So keep your eyes peeled for that. There's no longer the little bottle. Also, if you're actually in game and you go and pause the game, there's no longer the little bottle down in the lower left. Instead, it's just the profile button, and again, that takes you to this same place. Now, you can also click on the profile on the right side here, and that'll take you to the same place again. I'm wondering if this will work for other players. Like, if you're in a multiplayer server, you might be able to click on another player's name and then view their stats or their achievements or something like that. And now for a bunch of really random changes that you might appreciate in your Minecraft worlds. So first up, the torch flowers, the pitcher pods, the open and closed eye blossoms now increase the probability of getting a beehive on a tree that you grow. As you can see, bam, that's incredible. We actually got one. So previously, these did not affect the probability. And by the way, yeah, any flower in the game next to a sapling increases the probability of getting bees. So there you go. You can make a beehive farm using that. So 2 changes to the Creakings. They are now persistent, meaning that when you log out of the game, they're no longer going to despawn. So you can't combat log and get away from them. But this is also very good for your Creaking farms. And apparently, they can also now spawn on glass and redstone. So that's mildly annoying. And this guy is just, he's not having a good time. Get out of there. You're also more likely to find Creaking hearts in the Pale Gardens now, which is a great change, just a couple of months too late, maybe. Another change to the Creaking is that now when it's invisible, you'll actually be able to see its eyes as long as it has a target, so it can see the player right now. But if you're in creative mode, interestingly, the eyes go away, so kind of bizarre change. And by the way, I don't know if you guys caught this or really what update this was in, but you can name tag the Creaking now and it will stick around during the daytime. So if we change it to noon, as you can see, he's not going to despawn as long as it's name tagged. So really great for basically everything ever. Love it. Great change. Never take it away. Now, notably, he does not spread resin during the day, so you can't use it for farms during the day, but it will keep all of your Creakings from despawning in your farm, which will help with your efficiency quite a bit. And of course, he still attacks players and things like that. There's also been a nice bug fix to the mangrove swamps. These biomes will now spawn the correct hostile mobs. Previously, only slimes would spawn here, but now you can get your zombies, your skeletons, your creepers, your bogged, your endermen, all of your normal things that you would normally expect can now spawn in the mangrove swamp biomes. Another nice change to the mangrove swamp is that you now have an actual chance of finding fossils underground in this biome. You guys remember the fossils are even in the game? Most of the time, I don't remember. And the reason for that is they're pretty much only findable under swamps, now mangrove swamps, and desert biomes. So unless you're mining underneath those biomes, you don't really have a chance of finding one. We've had a great new feature added to the cave vines, weeping vines, what are these ones called? The twisting vines, and a kelp as well. So you can actually stop these things from growing just by clicking on them with some shears. So if we right-click that, you'll hear a shear sound. So when it comes to glowberries, you have to harvest them, but then if you right-click on them with shears, you'll hear a shearing sound. Bam, and now this one will never grow ever again unless you like bone meal it or break it and replace it. So we can do that with this one as well, and that one, and even the kelp over here. Now, this is a great feature for builders because if we crank up the random tick speed to 1,000, you can see that none of the ones that we sheared are gonna grow. So as you can see, all of these ones that we did not shear are growing, but the ones that we did shear have not grown at all, and this is gonna be fantastic for your builds. You can actually customize the height of all of your different plants and all of your different vines without needing to block them off using string. Now, this does not apply to regular vines for some reason. Maybe they just haven't added that feature. These are a bit more complicated of a block since they spread in, like, you know, every direction and they kind of get chaotic. But this is, like, the one that we really need the feature for. So if you could do that, Minecraft, that would be great. They also updated the twisting and weeping vines to have a higher drop chance if you harvest them with fortune, including a 100% drop chance if you have fortune 3. So that is a much better way of farming these things, because otherwise they have a percentage chance of dropping, as you did get one from there. And we also have some great new sounds for the twisting and weeping vines too. They're creepy and eerie, and I love it. We also have just an absolute ton of biome parody, and you can read through all this. There's no way I'm gonna read it for you, because this is not a 2-hour-long podcast, but you can see there's quite a bit of changes here. Mostly it just has to do with, you know, little refinements to foliage and plants, you know, little flowers and grass and bushes and things like that. In addition to all that, we have even more biome parody. You thought we were done with biome parody? We got even more for you. Probably the biggest change of all of those that you'll actually notice is that there's way more dead bushes in the Badlands now, or the Mesa as it's properly called. Now, on Java Edition, there is like probably twice as many as this even. There's just a ridiculous amount of dead bushes on Java. And yes, I like dead bushes, okay? What can I say? I'm a dead bush connoisseur. Minecraft is also losing an illegal block placement. So previously, sniffer eggs would be able to support all of these different things, like, you know, crystals and redstone and torches. And the thing about that is, all of these things are actually floating, as you can see there. So it looks really cursed, and I love it. But yeah, none of these things that you can see right here can actually be done in the 12160 update. So sad. And that is why it has earned a place in the Illegal Block Museum. But yeah, if we go to the current update, as you can see, we can't place anything on this. The only places that it does support things now is like torches on top, and then also bells and some lanterns on the bottom. We've had a nice little bug fix to the pale oak sapling and the dark oak sapling. These things can no longer be bone mealed if it's just like a single one, or if it's doubles, or even if it's triples. It's gotta be a quadruple before it can get bone mealed. So this also applies to the pale oak sapling, of course, and it even applies to dispensers. So this is gonna help us in our tree farms quite a bit, because we're not gonna be wasting bone meal while we're actually placing in all of the saplings, which is fantastic. A nice quality of life change is that when you're placing iron doors or trap doors and stuff, you don't actually have to sneak to place things on the sides of them anymore. So previously, if you weren't sneaking, you would just like click on it, kind of like this, and your arm would move, and it'd be like you're trying to activate it, but it would fail to do that. That's been like a staple of Minecraft for like literally forever. But now you can just stand normally, and if you place something, it'll just place on the side of it. Kind of a small change, and you probably don't even use these blocks that often, but if you do, well, your building just got so much easier. Speaking of these blocks, we have some great sound updates to all of the iron blocks in the game. So when you place these, they actually make iron sounds. And same applies to when you break them. We have two really nice changes to the Endermen. So there's now a longer delay when you look at these guys, and they won't get angry. Previously, if you even like glanced at them slightly, they would just attack you out of nowhere. But as you see, we can glance past this guy, and he's not getting angry with us. You have to look at them for a significant period of time before they actually get aggroed on you. Excuse me, sir, I would like you to get into this nice little boat right here for our second demonstration. So now when an Enderman's in a boat or a minecart, they're not actually going to teleport out of here. You might have noticed that this was broken in the previous update, and they would just teleport out. But now you can capture them in boats yet again, and you can actually kill them in here. They won't teleport away. Great way to get yourself some easy ender pearls and trap these guys, especially if you haven't gotten to the end yet. We also have a couple sound changes, so when you are tilling grass into dirt paths, it will sound different now. I don't know, it's fine. I'm not bothered by it. And now when you stand on magma blocks, the damage sound is going to be the fire damage sound. As you see, like the actual burning sound compared to the normal damage sound. Very basic. I like it. It's nice and fiery. Good change right there.